Welcome to the C&C Connection, an all-in-one podcast that touches upon a variety of topics ranging from sports to TV shows. Here are your hosts, the non-experts on everything, Colin and Corey.
Hey guys, welcome to the C&C Connection. Only Corey and Colin tonight, or Colin and Corey I should say, I always fuck it up. Joe is going Betty bye, so it's only the two of us, just the two of us. No more singing on the podcast. This is episode 4 of season 5 of Breaking Bad. The episode is called 51 because that's his birthday. He's turning 51 in this episode. So it's been 1 year since episode, or the season premiere, I guess. Yeah. Series premiere.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Initial thoughts, Colin, what do you think?
It was about the same as all the other episodes. I think this one a little bit better. A lot of build up still, but I'm really looking forward to episode 5.
Yeah.
Because listening to the Insider podcast was referenced a few times, and I'll continue to reference. But they mentioned that episode 5 and 7 are the big episodes in this half season.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah, there's 8 episodes a season in this half season, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we got 2 big episodes at least coming up. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, all these episodes are kind of the same in terms of entertainment. I mean, but that's a good thing because they're all really entertaining. I can't really separate them at all because there hasn't been an episode.
You definitely can. I think you could separate. This one was more of a new storyline.
Well,
there was definitely some cleaning up or like dealing with past issues with
definitely
Skylar,
dealt with
especially.
the Skylar thing finally. You know, it's been kind of like settling there all season for the 3 episodes, I should say. But
But I feel like the past 3 episodes were more of a like clean up what happened in like the finale almost,
right?
And like get the whole thing in order. And now I could see it building towards something new,
right? One thing I want to say, I think in terms of being like the way this episode was shot, I think it was like one of the most like intricate, like one of the best shot episodes of TV I think I've ever seen. Just the way like they shot Walt in every scene was very, I can't explain it. Just the way they set up all the scenes, I guess. Like for instance, at the dinner party, where they had him at the table, and Skylar's in the background, out of focus, next to the pool and stuff. It just showed that she's out of like this world that like Walt has created. Like Walt created this world where everyone at the table, Hank and Marie, were basically just feeding into all his bullshit, and Skylar's off in a distance, just in her own world, not listening to his shit, basically. Just in terms of like the way it was, like the deepness, I guess, of the way it was shot. I think it was very interesting to watch. I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into a little bit later, like how some things I didn't like. It was only really one scene I didn't like was the cars, but I mean,
yeah,
I could handle it. But this was actually the same director as the Fly episode in season 3.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I thought is it the same director for the Crawl Space one? Because in terms of like style, I thought they were similar.
I don't think so, because I just read a review really quick before we got on, and he only mentioned the Fly episode, which some people like. I know, you kind of don't like, but I mean, it's
memorable nonetheless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not good. It might not be because of a good thing, but it's memorable. Yeah, that car scene, I didn't.
Wait, before we get into that, I want to mention. Never mind. I don't want to mention that. Not important enough.
Okay. So going to the car scene.
Let's go through before we go to the car scene. The Aztec is back.
Well, that's the beginning of the car scene.
Not really, because it's still a different scene, but
Well, what car scene are you?
Well, the car scene is at their house.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's the one I didn't
really
like.
Right.
But,
the cold opening, I guess.
The what?
The cold opening with the Aztec.
The Aztec's back.
Yeah.
And it was kind of I like that scene. It was pretty funny. They were making fun of the Aztec, kind of talking to the fans, because some people like to make fun of that ridiculous car all the time.
Yeah, I never noticed it. I thought they were like completely different cars when he crashed them. I didn't know it was the same car.
Oh, you thought they were?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he finds his Heisenberg hat in the Aztec, so that was good, and he's continuously wearing that in public now. Before it used to be just like a disguise almost.
Mm-hmm.
But now
I liked how they were going through all the accidents, though.
Yeah, and the mechanic Benny, he's talking about how much he loves the car and stuff like that. I just thought it was pretty funny. Just a kind of a cool moment, bringing back the Aztec.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was cool to see it one last time, I guess, because it's done now, right?
Yeah, he sold it, and then we can go on to the next scene that you want to talk about.
Right, the car scene. Well, when they start pulling up in their new cars, and I think, well, at first they show that what's that car called? It's a Fiat or something like that. It looks like a Fiat.
Definitely was not a Fiat.
I don't know.
I don't know cars that well. I thought it was like a luxury Chrysler car.
No. The stupid minivan looking one, the SUV. I guess you want to call it an SUV. It's really lame looking.
You're talking about the Aztec.
No. The blue one that Walt Jr. was driving first.
Oh, the PT Cruiser.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Because that was the first one that came into the shot. I was like, wait, Walt just bought a PT Cruiser, but then he came in with his car.
I think he bought him a PT Cruiser a while ago. That was Walt's car, Walt Jr.'s car.
That was the first car he bought him.
I think so. Oh, he bought him. Remember, he bought him the Charger.
Yeah.
And then he switched over to the PT Cruiser.
Yep.
And that's basically my thing with the whole new cars and stuff. They did it already.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then there was this that awful what was that music called? Dubstep music going on for 2 minutes. I felt like I was like, okay, when's this scene gonna end? We get it. He bought cars.
Yeah, I didn't mind the dubstep that much, but it's just I don't know. It was a little cheesy, and they're in the driveway revving up the engines. But I'm not going to complain too much. It wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of me enjoyed it.
It was goofy. But it was like Breaking Bad goofy, you know? It has its own way of being funny.
I thought it felt out of place a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With the way this episode was shot, in terms of the deepness, and then you go back to that, that scene where everything's goofy.
It's like a freaking music video.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. But yeah, the car scene, meh.
That kind of plays into what we said in our Breaking Bad preview podcast when we talked about. But I think we predicted that he would get a new car for Walter Jr. or Walter Jr. getting into an accident or something like that.
Yeah, we said he was going to get into an accident.
Right, and they're definitely hinting at this. We'll get to that later, but.
Oh yeah. I have that written down in my notes.
I do too. We're very professional this podcast.
Yeah. People give us we got a lot of crap on our YouTube for our Breaking Bad preview. A lot of people saying we're wrong and stuff. We've been pretty good. We've covered a lot of bases in that preview. I just want to throw that out to all the haters out there, because you're not listening now, because obviously we dissuaded you in our first podcast. But yeah.
I thought that was we're getting to it. But next scene was Hank picks up Lydia at the Madrigal office.
Yep.
So that was pretty good. She turns in, or she kind of turns him in. I don't think she ratted him out.
They were looking for him.
They were just looking for him, right? Yeah. So they lose their methylamine, or almost lose it, and Lydia's obviously showing signs of not wanting to be in this anymore. I think that's pretty much it from that scene.
Yeah. The next thing I've written in my notes is the bacon scene. I don't know why I found this scene so funny.
I got some. I think before that, Skylar complains about.
When she wants to ship him to boarding school at night. Yeah.
She wants to move the kids to boarding school, take him away from Walt, basically, and he's getting a little threatening towards her. Like, what do you mean, and stuff like that. But that gets picked up later on, and that's pretty much all from that scene that's important. But then, I have on my notes is breakfast. Because Walter Jr. loves to eat breakfast.
He loves his breakfast. But that
that's
first
pretty
scene,
much all it is.
Not the first scene, the bacon scene. I don't know why I found that so funny. Just no,
yeah.
you gotta make the bacon. And she's like, okay, fine. And he's like, and I just Walt in that scene, just feeding into it. And he's just like, well, it is tradition. And she makes him the bacon numbers, and then she's like, well, that's not really a big, or Walt Jr.'s like, that's not a big enough one. And he's like, it's like, how stupid is this scene? If this happened in my house, it would just be a lot of swearing and name calling. It's just shows how different families are. But I don't know, it just, and then she makes him she gave him his bacon, right? Or her bacon? Gave him his bacon?
No, she stole it from Walter Jr.
Oh, okay.
You can't take Walter Jr.'s bacon. It's his breakfast. That's all he has in this show.
His face is like, no.
You fuck, man. But yeah, actually, the thing I got from this scene is Skylar is dead. Guaranteed she dies before the end of this season.
The half season, or?
Before the flash forward, the first thing. She's gonna die before that.
I agree.
Because I think he's like that's like him remembering her doing the 52. So she's dead. That was her death wish, and I thought it was maybe happening in this
when he was
episode.
looking at his bacon.
Huh?
That was
What's
a good
that?
call. Either she's either dead or off the show somewhere. Maybe she went to France. Who knows? She's definitely not with Walt anymore, though.
That's
in the flash forward, that is.
I can I'm guaranteeing it. She's dead.
Okay. You hear that, guys? It's the Colin guarantee. He's never wrong. The next thing I have down is Walter Jr. driving story is getting a bit annoying.
I think that's later on, right?
I think it was right after the bacon scene, or it was a scene in between that and the bacon scene. It was just when they were sitting at the table and him and Walt are like jesting at each other. I guess did I just use the word jest? But they're boasting at each other.
Oh, that was during the breakfast, wasn't it?
No, I think it was different. It was at nighttime.
Oh, maybe it was dinner. That's right. Okay, yeah, they're just. Did anything else happen? But through that?
No, it was just I think it was going back to what you said. It was hinting at the whole Walt Jr. crash thing because he's like.
I thought they did it even later on.
Yeah, they did it later when he was talking about going fast too. It was throughout the episode. They were talking about him just driving out of control, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was talking about. Yeah, they were just comparing their two cars.
Yeah, but it seems like they've been hinting at this for like I don't know how many seasons, 2 or 3 now. It's like we get it. Walt Jr. can drive now, you know.
Yeah, there was a storyline in there a while back.
But then again, it's like any storyline involving Walt Jr. Unless he's getting in a car accident, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I'm like that with Skylar again, because like when she was helping out Walt at first, she was awful, and then she started helping Walt out with the business, with the car wash and stuff. But now, like, I'm just getting sick of her again. Like Walt, like in the beginning of the episode, at least, like I thought Walt was being like nice and stuff. He's like trying to get the family back together, but then Skylar just has to be a stick in the mud again, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously
at least she has like a motivation now.
Yeah.
At least it comes out at the end of the episode, and that it's fine now that I know her motivation. I just didn't like it when she was just sitting there, and like this show pretty much has no female characters that are anything useful, and I guess she's starting to become one, but it's definitely better than she was before. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have next is they have Hank with his board of Gus Fring's whole operation.
Yeah, he gets a promotion.
Yep, he gets a promotion. And then he questions Lydia about her mismatched shoes. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yep.
So she's a little crazy, but also I noticed Gomez kind of shoots that down a little bit, and I know it's been hinted at a few times from other places that like someone in the DEA is on Gus Fring's side because Gus Fring was so close to the DEA before. Yep. Like they thought it was that guy who got fired, the head guy. I forget his name. I always forget his name, but I think it might be Gomez because
he's always shooting down ideas.
He is always, yes, yeah.
He did the same thing with the laundromat place.
Yeah, but he eventually goes into the laundromat.
Yeah, but after a lot of
he does a little clever stuff to get into, so that's something I guess for him. But
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Yep, something to look out for.
Another thing is when he was offered the promotion, you could tell Hank was had a little trepidation with it. I think it's going back to when he first went to El Paso.
Mm-hmm, I was saying the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So we agree that that's what it was.
Yeah, because he got promoted there, and a lot of bad stuff happened, and they kind of got a little.
Well, it really messed him up for the next couple seasons.
Yeah.
But it also could be that he's so in line with this case that he finally got his like life back together and he's on the case again and he doesn't want to leave it again. That could be that. I think it's just a mixture of both those things.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay.
And they also, just a little story point, they find the blue meth again.
Yep.
So they know that they're rebooting, and the cooks are back at it. Yeah. And they think Heisenberg, they thought he died in the meth fire, but no. Or they're not sure. They think he could possibly be around. So the next scene is Walt and Jesse together finishing up a cook at a house. So Walt's like he's going to leave early for his birthday and thinks he has a party waiting for him when he comes home.
And he kind of does, but not like the extravagance that I think Walt wanted.
I don't know what he was expecting. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Like, just Walt and Marie come over. Like, who else would
For Hank. Yeah.
be there? But he was it looked like he was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely was disappointed. And I see he asked Skylar, like, what's the plan? And all I could think of is, like, Skylar is a hostage, and she's making all this food and stuff and preparing this birthday because she's deathly afraid of him.
Yeah.
And I love the chocolate cake line. She's like, as per request, the chocolate cake. And it just sounds like she's about to, like, lose it.
And she does, because at the dinner scene, she just decides to go swimming.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Okay, yeah. Might as well just get. Well, I mean, before that Marie and Hank were in the car before they get there, and Marie basically tells them,
she spills the beans
because Marie can't keep a secret. So obviously, I mean, who didn't see that coming? But so everyone knows that Skylar was cheating, but it doesn't really get brought up.
Well, she was doing good, but like Hank's a cop, so you're not going to get much by him, you know.
Well, he thought
fair.
Walt was cheating.
Well, yeah,
so.
but he could tell something was wrong, though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I could go with that, but so the first thing I want is talk about a few of the lines that Walt Jr. is going to have a car crash. So he goes, they're talking about him. It cuts to him. They're having dinner or finished dinner, and they're all talking. And Walter Jr. is telling them about how he's driving his car crazy fast and stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna leave. And someone says, oh, slow down. And he goes, never. So.
Yeah, that was.
I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, unless they're just teasing the shit out of us, which it could be possible. Because they've definitely done it to me before with the whole Ted Beneke and me thinking Walter Jr. is his son. Yeah. But I think they still could connect. They still could. Car crash.
They haven't shot it down.
That's true. Yep. They haven't brought it up in a while either, though.
No, if it's any consolation, they haven't shot it down. But yeah, I mean, that whole dinner scene when, like, I don't know, like I said before, it was just the way it was shot. It was just like the lighting. I don't know. It was just like after that scene, like everything really ramped up in terms of the style, and just like
the two scenes I thought that were really good were just Skylar going into the pool, and him shaving his head, and it kind of got real intense after that with Walt, because that was just after their whole conversation, but we'll get to that too.
Yeah, so she jumps in the pool. She, I guess Hank jumps in or something.
Yeah, I wasn't. Who did jump in? Was it Marie?
It wasn't Marie.
Because Hank's hurt.
It was good point. It was either.
Maybe it was Walt because he looked like he changed. So.
Yeah, it must have been Walt.
But they're having that really awkward dinner, and then Walt starts thanking everyone for taking care of him or helping get him through the cancer.
Yep.
Because it was a year ago where he got his diagnosis, and she just decides to take a dip in the pool and basically tries to commit suicide almost, or I guess it was her plan.
Yeah, it was her plan. She wasn't trying to commit suicide. She was just trying to make it seem like she wanted to get the kids out of the house, which came out in the conversation in the bedroom after Walt and Marie left.
Mm-hmm.
Because Marie comes out and she's like, well, maybe I think you should take the kids out of the house for a little bit, and Walt just sees right through it and says that was Skylar's plan for the most part. And after
I didn't see that coming. Oh, I guess I a little bit saw it coming once he kept talking, but I thought he was about to lose it on Marie.
Yeah.
There's a few times in this episode I thought Walt was going to lose it. It was on Skylar and then Marie.
Yep.
But yeah, so basically this whole plan is to get the kids out of the house and get them away from Walt.
Mm-hmm.
Next scene I think was Jesse shows up at Madrigal trying to get the barrels of methylamine. thought there was a weird connection between Lydia and Jesse.
Yeah, there was a little almost banter back and forth between the two.
And then later on, he defends her a lot. So I thought, so I thought that was a little suspicious. I don't know if
Do you think they banged?
maybe they have a little. I actually have in my notes. Jesse banged her.
Yeah. That sounds like a Colin note.
So I mean, that's just a guess. I don't know. I don't know if they banged, but I think there was something. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely didn't bang, no. Although she did talk to him, which by our logic means she wanted to bang him.
Right. I mean, it's the only logic.
Yeah. It's the only logic that works for us.
But they find the tracking device on the barrel of methylamine.
Yep.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that comes out later in the episode. But then it goes to Walt and Skylar in bed, and they have that blowout.
Yeah, she basically throws it all out there, and that she wants the kids away from him because they're both involved now. So just get the kids out of it. She doesn't want the kids involved at all. So.
Yeah, and then at the end of the episode, or the end of the blowout, and she's like, "I'm just waiting for you to get cancer again." And then it really dawns on Walt that
he basically just shits on all of her plans to do something, and then she just says, "I just have to wait," and he goes, "Wait for what?"
Yep.
For the cancer to come back. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, she said she's biding her time.
Mm-hmm. And so
the next scene I think was him shaving his head, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was another cool way that if you can draw a lot of things from it is when he's shaving his head, everything's clean, like he's planning it, but then he cuts himself and he's bleeding. So I took it as hard as he tries to like make things clean again and keep things in order, like it's never gonna work, you know.
Yeah, I didn't really pick up anything like that from it, but that's pretty interesting.
That's the way I took it, and I took it the same way again with the Heisenberg hat when he was looking at it. Like he was looking at his Heisenberg hat later in the episode, and there's one little fray sticking out of the hat.
Yeah.
You know, as perfect as Heisenberg is going to be, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be one loose thread, no matter what, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just the way, like, little things that break it. Like, you can say, like, I know I'm going to get, like, flamed for this, but, like, people always talk about the way Mad Men is shot with its style and stuff, and obviously I think, like, a lot of it's, like, goes way over my head because I'm not paying attention as much as I do with Breaking Bad, but I think Breaking Bad may even be, like, better stylistically than... Or just a better show.
You could definitely argue that. I think it's a better show.
Mad Men has better, like, I don't know, has better style maybe, but like Breaking Bad uses that style to its advantage with its like storytelling. Because I think Breaking Bad has a way better storytelling than Mad Men.
As Cassie jumps on your bed.
I didn't see you. Stop looking at me, dog. You're not allowed on a podcast.
Cassie wants on the podcast.
Doesn't have any fucking input, stupid asshole. Get off my podcast. But yeah, getting off topic. I shaved his head. But yeah, going back, I just think Breaking Bad's just a way better show. No one can compare it to Mad Men. Mad Men is not better than...
you could compare it. You could definitely compare it.
It's not comparable.
But
Breaking Bad is way better than Mad Men.
I agree it's better, but you definitely can compare it.
I know. Stylistically, yes. Storytelling, no. But
I think both they can compare, but the like topic and like
subject matter
is more interesting. I mean, it's just more exciting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think how excited can you get about a show that's like, I mean, think of all the shows that you watch and how many have threats to like die. Like,
there's a lot of shows I think
that have threats to people dying.
Oh, well, actually dying.
Like, yeah, it's like always.
Okay, I thought you meant like people like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. No, yeah, I mean, because every show has like threats of like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, but like actual main characters dying, there's only a handful.
No, but I'm saying like Mad Men doesn't really have that. Like, there's no like life or death situations.
No.
But
in terms of action shows, I think there's always like a lot of action shows out there. There's like Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I'm saying that even compare it to Mad Men to Breaking Bad is just shows like it's not like the stakes aren't always as high, but or as interesting. It's just different.
Yeah.
I think.
They're way different
But-
shows.
Back to the Breaking Bad.
Back to the actual review of our show. Yeah, so after the whole shaving scene, what happens?
Mike, Jesse, and Walt are together talking
Oh,
about.
well, there's another scene where he's eating breakfast alone in his house.
Uh-huh.
And that was another cool style shot. Just he's alone in the dark in his house. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he was being kind of a badass in
Yeah.
that scene.
the music in those two scenes with him shaving his head and him in the house are just like really creepy.
Yeah, he could be a much of a badass eating cereal as anyone can.
It was almost. It reminded me of Stanley Kubrick with the music because I thought it was the same music from The Shining. In the
Yeah, I
style,
don't know.
the way there was I don't know. It just reminded me of Kubrick, but that's way off topic. But yeah. So after that scene, he goes and talks to Walt and Mike and Jesse about the methylamine.
Yeah, they're discussing the tracking, and I thought it was a little strange. I guess they could be tracking the barrels for cops. They could be doing that, I guess.
But Mike shot it down. Why would they put it on the bottom of the barrel where everyone can see it? Because they're meant to get wet, and he just kept shooting down Jesse's defenses.
Yeah, so then they figured out that Lydia probably did it to get them away, which is, I think, pretty smart actually for her because, I mean, it's pretty
risky.
Risky too because they figured it out. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be still in that after such a close call either. So, but that's when Jesse starts defending her a lot, and with the other girl out, maybe Lydia in.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Lydia is definitely like an interesting character, but like I don't know. I don't like her on the screen too long because I want to get back to Walt and Jesse and Mike. You know what I mean?
I don't mind her too much.
No, I like her. I just
I can see what you're saying.
I don't know. She's definitely better than Skylar and Marie.
But yeah, I think the only thing else to mention, because this is almost the end of the episode, is what do you think they're going to do with Lydia?
Well, I don't know because they never showed Mike agreeing to the rules, but they kind of hinted at it. And I like that scene where it's like Jesse's like
they definitely went with Walt's decision. I kind of wish they showed Mike express his concern because I mean that's kind of Mike's character.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of take a few liberties because Mike kind of I don't think he would take shit from Walt.
Well,
but
his whole
he kind
thing
of
was
is.
like, I'm in charge of the business. You guys don't get a say, and he's already like, I feel like he's having to defend himself a lot. Where I thought like Mike would just like shoot everything down and just not even tell them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess obviously things have changed, and that's another thing I wanted to say when Jesse was defending her. He was just like, this could go both ways though. When Jesse's like, Walt, what do you think? Or Mr. White, what do you think? And Mr. White doesn't even give a shit about her. He just wants the meth to keep going.
Yeah.
But that could be also like maybe Skylar's getting to him about the whole danger aspect and like things getting out of control, people dying. Maybe he does care about people dying, and maybe that's just his way of saying it.
I didn't see that at all.
No, I'm just saying that's a possible way for him to take it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just thought as him just being Heisenberg.
Yeah.
And
It probably was, but at the same time, like that led to the next scene where he comes home to Skylar, and he's like trying to talk to her and stuff.
Right.
Well, before that though, Jesse gives him a watch for his birthday, and that immediately hit me because Skylar said, "I'm just biding my time," and then he shows a watch and like.
That's very interesting
like,
because I
he
knew
looks at it-
they were trying to point something out.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying.
he
I just couldn't figure
that's
it
what
out.
I thought immediately, and he's just like looking at it like he's living on borrowed time. And then at the closing shot, it showed that too with the ticking, and that could go to him. He only has minutes left, or like not minutes left, but he's on borrowed time. And then remember, Mike said earlier in the season, "You're a ticking time bomb, ticking away," and you're just waiting for the boom. The boom could either be him going out of control or him dying of cancer now. So he's got two things going against him in terms of time, I guess.
I think the cancer is definitely coming back. Just two things I picked up: Skylar's going to die, and cancer's coming back because she talks about it, and then the flash forward. I mean, it pretty much shows that he's taking pills and stuff. So
he's been coughing in the past couple. He hasn't coughed this season yet, but like towards the end of last season, he was coughing a lot more than usual.
I think even Mike was coughing, but I guess they're not even gonna take anything with that. That was strange.
What if the show just like got really weird and like it turned out that like Mike is Walt's doppelganger, like they're the same person, like Highlander or something. I don't know.
That's weird.
Like the show just goes way on the left hand. Right on the left
Initially I thought Mad Men was going to do that when I was watching it the first season, but we
like it's all on Mars or something. Some Shyamalan twist.
They're like, I was like, why is oh my God, why is John Hamm and I'm like, Don Draper, why is Don Draper so strange? Like they're always like, what? There's something so strange about Don Draper. I'm like, what, is he like an alien or something? Like, what is gonna happen?
Yeah, there's nothing like there's just like going into that show, which is so different from every other show.
Yeah, but what did you? Okay, so this is my reaction to the watch when he's talking to Skylar about. He's like, look, someone gave me this that was gonna kill me.
Yeah.
He's like, he thinks that's like his trophy for deceiving Jesse.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. It's pretty like messed up.
I didn't see that, but I guess it could. Yeah, I didn't think of it, but it makes sense that
he just the way he explains it. He's just like he had a gun to my head, and like because he poisoned Brock and he thought he did it, and now he's changed and he believes in me or something, and I just thought he was just like he's just blatantly throwing it out there that he deceived him into liking him again.
It's possible. I didn't consider it. I just took it more as him trying to get Skylar back under control, because she's kind of put him over a barrel. Not put him over in a barrel, but definitely like it's a blip on his radar now because he hadn't really considered her before.
Yeah, I still. The only thing I think that hit him was the cancer.
Yeah, that definitely got to him.
Everything else he just shot down. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but
you said next episode is gonna be crazy, right?
They said they've been saying it's good. 5 and 7 are supposed to be good.
Great. Now, did you watch the preview for next week? I didn't, because I don't like spoilers.
I watched a little bit of it, and I noticed some things with Lydia, and that's the only thing I really was curious about. But I didn't see.
Yeah.
You just got me right when it happened. So
that's
right
gonna be an interesting thing to see play out. What happens to Lydia?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything.
How are they going to get methylamine if Lydia dies? Because Mike seemed like he had it under control. Like it'd just be like we're gonna have to ramp down for a little bit, but he seemed like there was gonna be no problem finding methylamine, like Jesse keeps pointing out. I feel like Mike can do anything in this show. It's like Batman. Batman can do anything.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where is that Madrigal office with methylamine?
Apparently, it's 900 miles away.
Okay.
Because that's what Jesse said. He said he took a flight there, and now he has to drive
back
900 miles back. So I'm guessing 900 miles north or east.
Who knows, really?
I don't know. New Mexico.
But definitely not in Germany.
No. You can't drive from Germany to New Mexico. At least not any map I've seen.
That's correct. So any other thing like we could predict or try to speculate on what can happen?
I don't know. It didn't really.
I mean, I made a few pretty big speculations in this, and the guarantees, a few of the guarantees too.
Yeah. The only guarantee you threw out was Skylar dying.
Skylar's gonna die. The cancer's gonna come back, guaranteed.
Okay.
It's Colin stamp.
Colin stamp.
I don't want to give a full Colin stamp to Walt Jr. is gonna crash, but it's like a 75% stamp.
Wow, 75%.
Yeah, I mean, TV shows don't just like throw that out there.
Right.
But they could be messing with me, specifically me.
It's a conspiracy all against you.
They heard our preview podcast. They're like, let's fuck with them. Let's fuck with these guys.
Of course they did. Well, you mentioned that you listen to other podcasts. It's like we're all working together, except no one's working with us.
Right.
In terms of podcast community. We're on our own. But I don't know. In terms of like pushing the story forward, it didn't really do that. It kind of like resolved past storyline issues this episode. So I can't really make any new predictions based on this episode because it didn't push anything forward, so to speak.
Yeah, I initially thought after the first 3, I thought this was going to be like a Mike versus Walt power struggle.
Right. And it
Didn't
might
really-
still be, but they didn't really fight at all this episode. Mike was barely in it. So was
There was
Jesse.
There was a chance for a power struggle, and it was like they didn't show it. They didn't show it at all.
Yeah.
I think they're going with Walt. Do you? I mean,
What do you mean?
like they're not going to stop production.
Oh yeah, I think they're going with Walt because like Jesse's like you did the right thing by doing that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way they're going with Mike.
No,
But
unless Mike just does his own thing, we don't know. He's unpredictable like that. Because he shows signs of
I
humanity.
don't think he's going to go do his own thing. I think Walt is taking control of him now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I
it
don't
certainly
want
looks
to
like
either
it.
because it's Mike, and like Mike seems to have some common sense and knows how it works and everything.
Yep.
But I mean, if there's no argument, that's pretty much they're pretty much saying that Walt is the only person that matters.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely changed that last. I thought it was rushed too, but that might be the way they were trying to make it seem. Like maybe Walt's
I'm pretty sure they'll have Mike saying that I don't think this is a good idea.
right.
But no one's stopping this train, so
Yeah. I thought that was a good line too.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's where we should wrap up our review of this episode. Do you have anything? I can't think of anything else. We've reviewed the shit out of this episode.
You
Well,
certainly did.
Well, we can't wait for next week.
Certainly.
Certainly not. Yeah, so stay tuned for the CNC Connection this week. You'll have a newsroom review possibly tomorrow or
Boo.
Tuesday. I might be on board with you soon. This show is kind of fading. And we got to do a Hell on Wheels Season 2 preview, Season 1 recap.
Oh, because
podcast.
everyone's waiting for that.
Yeah, well, they showed the... I want to talk about it now, but we'll talk about it during the preview. Just the preview they showed tonight. We'll do let's shoot for Wednesday. Wednesday night we should try to shoot for, or Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't know, whenever you're free.
I'll see what my schedule's like.
Your schedule. Yeah. All right. So thanks, guys, for listening. If you have any comments, comment below in the comment section. You can tweet at
On
us.
YouTube.
On YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're on iTunes, I don't know what you're clicking on.
Just
Actually,
subscribe for
just
iTunes.
subscribe, please. You can tweet at us at DCC Connection on Twitter. You want to shoot
Give
out
us-
our email?
Give us a review on iTunes, maybe. Good
Yeah,
one.
a good one review. A good review, though, not a bad one.
If you're gonna give a bad review, don't.
No. Just write out the bad review, but then go back and correct it and just do the opposite of all the things you said.
Email us the bad review.
Yeah, and then we could, if you're going to give us constructive criticism, I guess you can just email us at dccconnection@gmail.com.
Or if you have questions about the show or our show or anything.
Or if you want us to answer one of your questions on the podcast, we'll do that too, because we're desperate at the moment, and we'll do anything you guys want.
Right.
Right. That sounded weird. All right, guys, this is CNC Connection signing off.